Good morning, Lourdes.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I've had a good morning. How about you?
Very good. I have my lavender tea. All is well.
Bueno, let's get started then.
Mm.
Welcome back to Coaching Conversations, where we help you navigate your mind, emotions, and decisions with clarity. I'm Maria Savio.
And I'm Lord of Sleeper. Today, we're talking about a trap that so many people fall into, making choices that feel like a win in the moment, but leave them feeling uneasy, conflicted, or even guilty later.
Yeah, we've all been there. Maybe you took an opportunity that forced you to bend your values or make a choice that you had to hide. And at first it seemed like an advantage, but later it weighed on you.
Mm. Yes. So today, we're breaking down how to make decisions that don't come back to haunt you, how to choose integrity over short term gain, and most importantly, how to live in a way that brings you real peace of mind.
All right, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's start with something simple but very powerful. If you have to lie about it, sneak around, or keep it a secret, it's probably not a real win.
Right. You know, you've all made choices that weren't exactly that maybe that we aren't exactly proud of. Maybe it was telling a white lie to get ahead, covering up a mistake, or taking an opportunity that didn't align with your values. But if we have to hide it, deep down, we already know it's not right.
Yeah, and think about the mental energy that it takes to maintain something that isn't fully honest. There's this constant fear of getting caught, of someone finding out the truth, and that's a huge weight to carry.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically carrying this thing when you make choices that you have to conceal, you don't actually enjoy the reward because you might gain something externally like money, status, recognition, but internally, you feel uneasy. You carry guilt and shame within you. So the exchange, it's not an exchange of something that you want that you lied for. It's an exchange of your integrity for guilt and shame.
Yeah, it's ill-gotten goods, right? You you
Yeah.
you you carry that misalignment within you. You know you did something that was out of alignment with your values, and it's something that you carry with you. I know in my 20s and in my 30s, especially in my 20s, I totally struggled with this, but it was really out of a place of need, I think. Yeah, the inadequacies, the inadequacies that I was facing at the time, and so I tried to hide it, I think. Anyway,
Well, just to
getting back to the conversation.
no, just to add to that, sometimes we make these decisions against our integrity out of fear because we're all basically in this survival mode, right? And so we're looking to survive, and sometimes we exchange our integrity for what we think would help us survive. But like I said, you carry that guilt and shame, and you carry it for all of the years, and they weigh on you, mentally exhausting you, emotionally exhausting you, and then also that fatigue, it leaks out into your body.
Right, and it's something that not only have you made that decision or acted out of integrity, but then you carry it forward and it bleeds into
Mhm.
all parts of your life, and usually, exactly like you said, it's this need for survival, and it usually, well, I think for me it was around acceptance, the need
Mm.
to be accepted, but again, when you're acting out of alignment, that is, brings an uneasiness into your mind. And that uneasiness is your mind's way of telling you this isn't aligned with you. It isn't aligned with who you really are.
Right, right. And the next thing is, let's talk about what happens when you do start making decisions that align with your values. Something really interesting starts to happen because life gets quieter. It gets easier in your inner world as well as in your outer world.
Yes, because you're not in an inner conflict with that misalignment. When you're living in
Mhm.
a way that you're proud of, there's no need for constant justification, over explaining, or looking over your shoulder. You stop making a drama out of your life because there's nothing to cover up.
Right. So you stop feeling the need to constantly defend yourself when you act with integrity. You don't have to explain your actions because they speak for themselves.
Absolutely. And let's be honest, most of the time when we feel like we have to justify ourselves, it's because we're not fully at peace with our own decisions.
Yes, absolutely. The real shift when your choices align with your core values, there's nothing to fix later. Your inner critic starts to quiet down because it's no longer pointing the finger at you and saying, hey, you're an imposter, you're a phony, you're a fake, because you're living in your integrity. You just live, and that's enough.
Yes, absolutely. And so another big lesson here is about attachment. A lot of people make choices they regret because they're afraid of missing out, afraid of losing something, afraid of change. And, back to that survival mode, right?
Mhm.
We're afraid of not being acceptable, afraid of being kicked out of the tribe, right?
Right, that's absolutely right on target. We hold on to these things that aren't good for us, whether it's a relationship, a job, or even an image of success. We make it about our identity, and because when you make it about your identity, it's like who you now become. We don't want to let that go.
Yeah, but when we're too attached to something, we'll start to justify anything to keep it. And that's when people bend their values, they compromise their integrity, or stay in situations that no longer serve them.
And that's where a lot of anxiety comes from. When you believe you have to hold on to something at all cost, it creates again that fear. But the reality, you're not always going to be okay with or without it.
Yeah, you have to come to a place where you have that inner knowing that you are going to be
Hmm.
okay with
Hmm.
or without it. And that's the mindset shift. Instead of saying, I can't lose this, start saying, if it requires me to break my integrity, it was never really mine to keep.
Absolutely. And then how to live without regret, right? That's so significant. We How do we put all of this into practice? How do we start making decisions that we won't regret later?
So, step one, before making any decision, ask yourself, if this became public knowledge, would I still stand by it? If the answer is no, that's a red flag.
And step two, let go of attachments that make you act out of fear. The tighter you cling to something, the more likely you are to compromise your values just to keep it.
Mm. And step three, pay attention to your emotions. If you feel uneasy about something, don't ignore it. That's your inner wisdom telling you something isn't right.
Yeah. And you have to trust that you don't need to force things. When you act with integrity, life has a way of, working out. Maybe not in the way you expect it to, but in ways that keep you, the ways that keep your conscious clear.
Hmm. So, Your challenge this week, the next time you make a decision, ask yourself, would I be proud of this choice if the whole world knew about it? It's that billboard scenario, right? If this was plastered on a billboard for everyone to see, would I be okay with that?
Right, and then, if you have that image, right, and the answer is no, take a pause, reconsider, because the real success isn't about what you gain, it's about what you don't have to sacrifice to get it.
And remember, peace of mind is the real prize. The more you live with integrity, the lighter and freer you'll feel.
All right, then. Thanks for joining us on Coaching Conversations. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.
And remember, when you make decisions you're proud of, you don't have to fix, explain, or regret them later. That's true freedom.